everybody, Markus Netterer, my name. I'm representing the OSGeo Foundation here. The OSGeo Foundation is a large body. I just want to illustrate here projects, speak a little bit about incubation and infrastructure. But in the first place, I want to illustrate what's possible to use or to do with the software which is available through the OSGeo Foundation. What's important here is that the OSGeo Foundation is a legal body registered in the United States, but it isn't considered being an umbrella foundation. Umbrella foundation means it is an organization of volunteers. We try to host projects related to free and open source GIS within this foundation, but the scope is also on different issues like education and communication, outreach, and also public geospatial data. So this is just an overview of what's possible. It's completely, it's not complete at all. This slide shows you a wide range of different packages which are available on the Outreach Open Live DVD, or this can also be run as a virtual machine. So if you want to try the software, you can download this from the liveosgeo.org server. This is an interesting way to get acquainted with the software itself without installing yourself. You just start this virtual machine or you run it from a USB stick and you can discover what's available without installing it at all locally from the very beginning. You can then decide to install it to the disk itself, or you use one of the installer packages and install it in the conventional way. Most of the software packages are portable, which means it is rather independent nowadays which operating system you are running, and this is of course crucial also for working in heterogeneous groups. So we consider OSGeo as a platform for free and open source GIS software. What does OSGeo offer? It has been created, established in February 2006, so several years ago. Important is for us that it is a collaborative software development platform. So we want that it was established to enable developers of different projects to avoid that everything is reinvented over and over again, but rather to share the code, also to do peer review and so on. We, like the Eclipse Foundation, take care that we have no problems with the license itself of the respective software. We want to avoid that any copyright infringements happen and so forth. Essential is community building. As I mentioned, it is a voluntary organization, so a little bit differently structured, and the community is very important in general. So of course we speak about different communities here. Usually each software project comes with its own, and again OSGeo is the umbrella foundation. Documentation, testing, bug fixing, educational outreach, which means material for courses. So if you like to teach something based on this software, take a look at the website. You will find a huge set of existing courses which you can use according to the license, usually Creative Commons license. And naturally there's also the infrastructure for code management, for building, for running the tests, for building installers and so forth. So I want to illustrate a bit more in detail what happens to source code changes. Why is that interesting? Because this somewhat applies to the peer review process of scientific software. So in case we have some code here, this is a snippet of C code, a developer decides to change something, and this change is then submitted to the repository. This can be Subversion, which is hosted on the OSGeo infrastructure, or it can be Git or whatever. In many projects of OSGeo, then a difference email is generated, and this is sent to a commit mailing list. Like this, it is possible to see what has changed, and you can see also on the website itself, this line has been substituted by that line. And to this public list, anybody can subscribe, and many developers do so, because you want to monitor what's going on. And this is really done by reading the changes. And at the same time, in IRC channel, that is a kind of archaic chat system which exists and which functions well. These changes are also indicated. Additionally to that, many projects come nowadays with a test regression test platform, either run on OSGeo infrastructure or elsewhere. There's also other providers which are doing the same, and by static code analysis telling you what the changes are. And this is then leading to a discussion, and that's basically, let's say, the ground, also in a scientific sense, to produce better software. So we have already heard about the legal issues. Legal aspects are very important. I just want to briefly mention that we don't want to include third-party contributions which are not compliant to the open source licenses, or which probably contain some copyright infringement. And this is something which is very, very important, and due to that there's an incubation phase in which these legal aspects are controlled. So each new project is having a mentor, and this mentor is then guiding the project through this incubation process. It is also very important that a healthy community exists around the project. If there's a one-person show, then it will be difficult to get into OSGeo right away, but we want that the project also comes with the community. So, and then eventually it is decided if the project graduates from the incubator or not. Something like more concrete, programming is not that complicated always. You may say, okay, maybe C language or whatever other language is difficult to write. Python is maybe easier, but you can receive or find even tools which make it still easier for you to write own code with graphical user interface. This tiny snippet over there, which is just the declaration of the user interface and some lines of code in the script part for the computation, will automatically generate such an interface. And this is something, by scripting, you can achieve the style of the main software itself. We have also add-on repositories, like in R, also with the various JS projects. There are very large add-on repositories meanwhile existing. And on those repositories you find eventually the extensions. Programmer's manual is also available. Here the idea is that in most projects the code is documented. So if you open a file, you will find special instructions, and they are automatically then rendered into online programmer's manuals. So by this are close documentation to the code hosting. In this regard, we avoid that in some corner the manual is developed, in another place the code is developed, and they eventually go into different directions. That's why it has been chosen to usually code inline, and this is done by most projects. Funding model, of course, also open source developers have to eat, and if they are not working at university or in companies, there are different new options available. You know about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding campaigns also happen naturally in the open source JS community. Here's some example of OpenLayers. I think it was in 2013. They raised more than $300,000 in a short time in order to be able to implement OpenLayers 3. From code analysis, you see what is the value of a software. All the open source projects in OSGeo have been analyzed for that. This is done automatically, and you can see estimated effort of 378 years of development. And since there are many developers working on the software, it is a kind of parallelized development, and this is running essentially or leading to something hopefully useful. Important also, since we are on a scientific meeting here, is the documentation of the algorithms themselves. Because reading source code is one thing, but to find a structured and even peer-reviewed way of understanding how the algorithm has been implemented, why so, and for which use cases it can be used for, you will find, meanwhile, a rich wealth of documentation. Nowadays, luckily, also software journals come up, which are more dedicated to that. But in the so-called mainstream journals, you will find a lot of papers meanwhile, and of course also a range of books. So we suggest that the OSGeo Foundation is be a platform for sustainable open science. sustainable in a sense that you can reproduce things. As soon as data and code get closer together, that is particularly interesting. You have a return of investment because being open source, you do not have a black box problem, but you can adapt software to your needs as of today, even if the software has been written several decades ago. Auto documentation I've already mentioned, reliability through peer review process, and longevity, of course, since it is open source and cannot easily get lost. It can also be fun. Coding fun at international code sprints is something essential. Here we have the chance to change ideas. It's an international collaboration, and you see people are really coding all over the day, but the fun part is naturally included. And with this I would like to conclude, and after the session I'm available.